my team for organizing this webinar jointly and bringing some of the interested MFIs into this discussion. As Pratishta mentioned, it is basically we are here to discuss about a program of government, UP government called UPMIP, UP Micro Irrigation Program, which is supported by the WRG 2030 program of World Bank, where there is some funding support available. The details would be told by the concerned person, so I'm not getting into that. But as I understand, bulk of this investment is supported by subsidy from the government. Maybe it's supported by the World Bank. Around 80-90% of the money will come from the government. So hardly 10 to 20% is only required to be invested by the borrower for undertaking this activity. As you know, micro irrigation program, and basically it is drip irrigation program what we are trying to promote. And in drip irrigation program, as you know, it's a very efficient water usage is what we are looking at. So water becoming such a important resource and a very, I would say, uh, very limited resource. So its efficient use is very much needed, and this also goes to support the climate and climate related issues. So that's the reason why the government and World Bank has come together in promoting this micro irrigation program. It's better usage of water, efficient usage of water, and better yield to the farmers. That is what it is expected. So, as I said, bulk of the money will come from the government in the form of subsidy. 10 to 20% is maximum the borrower has to put in as their investment. But to start the project, probably they need some kind of a capital. And that is what we are looking at to the MFIs to support the borrowers to get the capital and start the investment, and so that money will come into them, and your money also will get repaid. I'll tell you, this is an excellent opportunity for the microfinance institution to diversify their lending activities, because here probably you may not be able to go in a typical group mode. You may have to look at maybe giving on an individual basis. But then this individual loaning is definitely much attractive because of the, as I said, the bulk amount available in the form of subsidy. And secondly, it is specific to the irrigation, and irrigation, right, directly lead to the better yield for the agriculture. Thereby their income increase would be there, and the repayment will become easier. So definitely it's an opportunity for the microfinance institutions. As I said, it will help you to diversify your activities. It will help you in getting experience in lending to individual financing. So in all way, I find this is a useful program for the micro institution. So I request all those who are present here to make use of this program. Sandeep is also there from GIZ. Of course, they are also part of this program. I forgot to mention that. So, I'm sure with the support of all of you, we can make a real dent in the agriculture scenario of the country, agriculture scenario of UP especially, and also create a improvement for the people of, especially the downtrodden people. So with this, I thank everyone for sparing your time to be here. Please make use of this, and this is a good opportunity for every one of us. So make use of it. So with this, I hand over back to Pratishta for taking it forward. Thank you so much, and all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for these words, sir. Now I invite Mr. Sandeep Bhattacharya from GIZ India to give a brief overview of the webinar objectives and introduction to UPMIP and its significance. So over to you, Sandeep.
Thank you so much. Am I audible, and is
Yes,
the
yes.
slide visible?
Slide visible.
Yeah, thank you so much. I will try my best not to take up the 10 minutes allocated to me. And thank you so much, Gigi sir, for doing the opening remarks. So this is a part of a series of work which we're doing with our partners, including Sa-Dhan, Sustain Plus Energy Foundation, CINI, and of course now 2030 WRG. Series of work things we are doing. And if I were to be asked, okay, describe in maybe 2 or 3 minutes, what is this work that you're doing? You don't have more than 2 or 3 minutes. Then this is the slide I would use to describe it. Is that first, our partners have executed a lot of field trials with technological solutions, including drip irrigation. Then, they support the farmer community to community members in the trials. In the field trials, often problems come up, things don't work out as they're supposed to. Then, the our partners intervene and see what can be done. Sometimes it works and sometimes, well, it doesn't work. So for certain products where the trials have taken, the economics is established. So, okay, for some products, on-ground testing, generally over a period of 2 years, has revealed that yes, the economics is working. Okay, then the next step, what we do is we bring the farming community member and the manufacturer of the technology face to face with the financial institutions. This we have done quite a bit.
Sandeep, there's a message saying that it is not visible for someone.
Oh.
You can put it on PPT
Slide
mode.
is not moving actually.
Okay, the slide is not moving.
Yeah, you put it on PPT mode and see.
Yeah, is this visible now?
It is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
visible.
Okay, sorry, I wanted to have the animation, but somehow if this is the king. So the next step is, the first step I noted out. Then the next step is, bring the farming community member and manufacturers face to face with the FIs, and then support the interested FI. So then the farming community member generally says that, look, this has helped me in such and such thing. For drip irrigation, we held this event in Lucknow on April 16th this year, where maybe some of you were present. Yeah. And then there is support for the interested FIs, our partners, which is Sa-Dhan, specifically Sa-Dhan, supports the financial institutions. So now, they have all the documents and all the evidence to start lending for the products. Okay. Then the next step becomes to bring the farming community manufacturers face to face with the FIs. Yeah. Okay, this is a repetition. I'm so sorry. There's a repetition here. Yeah. And then so ignore the this point, please. I'm so sorry. I created this in a hurry. Then the next step that we are doing is enable a line of credit or any other support which the financial institutions may require to do the scaling up. Yeah. So currently we have a line of credit from Caspian Debt for any microfinance institutions, and we have had a webinar which explains it. The details of that are in the YouTube. And we are working on a few other support mechanisms, maybe some guarantees or interest rate subventions. We are working on them. Please do not take my word as a promise here. We are trying to work on them. This is the schematic view of our work at a very high level. There can be a lot of details and nuances which is not represented here, but this is at a very, very high level. And now if somebody asks me, okay, what is the difference between this and the current scheme that we are looking at? You can see the arrow in the middle here. I'm putting my pointer there. Is this visible? The enhanced policy support mechanisms. So this is what we are working on now to streamline or enhance policy support mechanisms. The current scheme of UPMIP is a big improvement on the previous one. And what I'm told is that the disbursements are rupees 2 crores per day. It's not a joke. In a state where the water tables are not extremely low and drip irrigation is seen just as a productivity enhancement and not a dire need, there the subsidy disbursement per day is rupees 2 crore. So the objective of this webinar is simply to explain, how is this streamlined or enhanced policy support mechanism working? And I will leave the floor to my well-esteemed colleagues in the 2030 WRG and Access Assist to explain the same. Thank you so much. And it's again a great to be a part of this.
Thanks,
Over to
Sandeep.
you.
Yeah, thanks, Sandeep, for giving this overview. It was really insightful for us. So now, moving forward, I request Mr. Yogesh Arya from WRG 2030 to give a presentation on the process of UPMIP. Over to you, Yogesh sir.
Sure. Thank you, Pradista. Thank you for giving me this chance.
Sir, is there any presentation that I need to share?
I have presentation. If you allow,
Yeah, sir.
I
It's
could present it.
already there. Yeah,
Okay.
control already.
So
Yeah.
I'm just sharing. This. Is it visible?
Yes.
Sir, yes.
So I will try to be very brief. UP Micro Irrigation Program (UPMIP) is the part of Per Drop More Crop, which is a centrally sponsored scheme, and central government is funding to each and every state of the India. So, as usual, UP was also implementing this scheme, but there were a number of gaps. Due to that, the program was taking pace in Uttar Pradesh. So the other states which have significant strides and presence under the micro irrigation were doing very well, but UP was lagging behind. So overall, as a net sown area of any state, Gujarat has the highest area coverage under micro irrigation, that is more than 60%. Similarly, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and some other state has different coverage from 24 to 40% of under micro irrigation. But UP had only 3.4% of its net sown area under micro irrigation. And when we are talking about the micro irrigation is not for only water saving. Basically, the states which have adopted this, and especially Maharashtra and Karnataka, it has helped them to achieve much higher productivity of different crops. So, usually when we talk about the micro irrigation, we think that we are talking about the water saving. But in UP, when we are talking about the micro irrigation, we are not talking only for water saving. Basically, we are pursuing micro irrigation for higher productivity and higher output. That helps to get farmer doubling their income, save their cost of production, and increase productivity. So, and in 2022, we have 2030 WRG is basically a trust fund under the World Bank, and we are supporting different state governments, providing technical support to different state governments for different programs, especially concentrated on water-related issues. In Uttar Pradesh, we are helping the state government in agriculture and water sector. And we have initiated in 2022. Before this, there were a number of challenges before the Department of Horticulture, which is the nodal of Uttar Pradesh micro irrigation program. There were implementation challenges, infrastructure and institutional issues. Government officers at the ground level were not much aware and not much willing. They don't have any interest or they don't have any motivation to implement this program. There were financial constraints. Usually, the state was getting budget by the not at the start of financial year, that is April. They were getting budget in the June, July, or September, and they were starting after that. Usually, only 3 or 4 months were active period when they were able to disburse money under this scheme. And there were some technical issues. For example, there were no online or current monitoring of the program, how it is doing, which crops it is covering, which districts it is covering. There were no such institutional arrangement to monitor and gauge the impact of this program. So we have initiated There is a very good program in the Gujarat, that is Gujarat, supported by Gujarat government, and there is an agency GGRC, Gujarat Green Revolution Company, which is implementing micro irrigation program in Gujarat. And Government of India has adopted the model and stated to all state government to adopt the same model for implementing per crop, more crop, and related schemes. So we have bring this information to Uttar Pradesh government. Chief Secretary has agreed to implement this program, and we have provided technical support to state government and Department of Horticulture. So we bring this online real-time monitoring system to Department of Horticulture, and from August, 30th August, you can say September 2023, this program is under operation. So this is just an illustration that how was the earlier system and how is the current system. Each and every system, suppose I am a farmer and I want to get the micro irrigation system installed in my field, then I have to manually apply to district horticulture officer, and a district horticulture officer, when he gets suppose 20, 30 or 100 application, then he used to send these applications to headquarters at Lucknow. Sometimes it takes 3 months, sometimes it takes 6 months, many times it takes more than 1 year, because without collecting sufficient number of applications, they were not forwarding to head office. And each they for applying for micro irrigation system, they have to submit a bunch of papers, and each and everything was manual. Now we have changed it on online and fixed each and every step with the significant time frame that I will show. So suppose a farmer want to get micro system at his field, he just have to make a missed call, or he just have to access the UPMIP website. Government of UP instantly, very next second, get the information that a farmer in such and such district, such and such block, and such village want to register for micro irrigation system. Immediately, a company is allocated to that farmer. Company starts evaluating the size of farm, crop, and cropping pattern. Then it is start to making bill of quantity, that you can say technically estimate of the micro irrigation system. After making that estimate, they submit it to UPMIP portal, and we have a very big staff and technical support unit at Lucknow. When a company submitted the bill of quantity or estimate to portal, immediately we get the notice that such and such number of applications has been received from n number of districts. Immediately we review technically that what are the technical requirements, what are the costing, and immediately same day we provide technical sanction to those applications. And here I would like to mention, prior to this program, the companies has practiced to fix prices on their own. For suppose for 1 hectare or 1 acre of land, X company is selling it on 2 lakh rupees, Y company is selling on 1.5 lakh rupees, and Z company was selling on 3 lakh rupees. So there was no price parity among the companies. So what we did, we fixed the quality parameters and price parameters of each and every component of the micro irrigation system. So now a farmer can buy from n number of companies, any company, price will be same. So no company can claim that we are providing you good quality of instruments, so that's why we are charging higher. So a farmer is free to choose currently 87 companies, and 90 more have applied to join the UPMIP program. So he can choose out of that any company, price will be same. And another feature of this practice, what we get, earlier the average price for 1 hectare of drip irrigation was 2.4 lakh rupees. And after this exercise, we successfully brought down the prices to 1.7 lakh rupees per hectare. That means almost 40% saving of cost. It not only helps farmers to reduce their cost for getting micro irrigation system, but also it helps government to use that money to cover more and more farmers. And each and every farm will get the micro irrigation system is geo-fenced, and we have geo-reference, geo-coordinates of every farm, that where the machine is installed and how much cost has taken. This is the process of UP micro irrigation system. When you register online, within 5 days, company visit to your field, and that prepares the bill of quantity, that is estimate. After getting the estimate, within 6 days, the technical support unit sitting in Lucknow evaluate the bill of quantity and evaluate the layout design and coordinate with the district horticulture officer. When he ensure that each and everything is okay, they just issue the technical sanction. And after issuance of sanction letter, district horticulture officer inform each and every farmer can get the status of where is his application. So within 5 days, there is a tri-party agreement. That is a agreements between farmer, between district horticulture officer and micro irrigation company. That happens when a farmer is ready to submit their financial contribution for micro irrigation system. Here I would like to mention, this is the crucial stage where the intervention of microfinance companies and financial institutions are required. Currently, we are having almost more than 3 lakh farmers register for micro irrigation system. And out of these 3 lakh, 1 lakh plus, almost 1.3 lakh farmers have submitted their contribution. I would like to inform you, 90% farmers are getting 90% subsidy for this scheme, and those farmers who are having 2 to 5 hectare land, they are getting 80% subsidy from the government. So suppose cost of micro irrigation is 2 lakh rupees for a farmer, he have to submit 20,000 rupees as his contribution. In most of cases, farmers get registered when they have money to contribute themselves. But many farmers, almost 2/3 farmers, they want to get micro irrigation system on their field, but they are not able to deposit their share. So they are waiting for any financial assistance that they can avail this micro irrigation system. Currently, almost 2 lakh farmers are waiting to get financial support from any microfinance institution, any bank, or any other agency to submit farmers' share, so they can proceed for the institution. After that, company get advance, they supply the material, and after each and everything is done, they just install the machine at the farmer's field. After installation, there is a number of third-party agencies which investigate the estimate and actual installation. They match, and after their verification, we just issue the final payment to micro irrigation companies. So we have anticipated that all this procedure will take almost 80 to 85 days. But it is the efficiency of this system. We are not expecting this, but currently from application to final payment to companies, it is getting almost 48 to 50 days only. So the process which was taking almost 6 months to 9 months earlier, and we are now able to get in 1.5 months or maximum 2 months. So this is the best scheme and program. And second is, each and every farmers is getting actual installation at their field, what they are committed and what the estimate is being submitted. So these are the advantage after the over the other states. Usually, in other states, this is taking 120 to 180 days. Here we are finishing this in 48 to 50 days. Usually, the average cost per hectare is from 2 lakh to 3 lakh in other states. In UP, we are getting it in 1.7 lakh per hectare for drip irrigation. They are 10% to 35% plus GST as a farmer share in the other state. In UP, farmers have to pay maximum 20% as their contribution for drip irrigation. And we also providing insurance and operation and maintenance services that is free of cost included in the installation. The other states are not providing such facilities. So that's why we are able to cover more, and for each day we are covering more and more power under this program. So this is the progress. As I said, as on 1st December, there were 2.86 lakh farmers registered for micro irrigation system, and the area was 3.64 lakh hectare. And I would like to inform, and you will surprise, that the earlier years before implementing this program, the target of the state government was 1 lakh farmer and 1.2 lakh hectare land annual target. That was the annual target. And within 8 months, we successfully registered more than double, and hopefully that will cross 3 times at the end of this financial year. And on average, we are disbursing 2.7 crore rupees subsidy daily. We are daily dispersing and covering almost 350 hectare land. More than 300 farmers daily are getting micro irrigation system installation at their field. So I don't think any other government program is running so efficiently and working so efficiently in any other state. And recently, for its efficiency and contribution to environment, the UP micro irrigation program has been awarded with the ISO 9001 and the ISO 14001. So these are the advantage. That is technical advantage. You must be aware about this. I am skipping this, and there are few point of initiation where we initiated. One, we provided information to government support and policy framework. We have developed a very robust institutional framework and established a technical support unit at the headquarters, so that can take each and every activity under surveillance. We have provided some customization, for example, fixing prices of each and every component, fixing quality of each and every component, and we are regularly conducting capacity building with farmers. So farmers, just to make them aware, and we are also taking crop specific and cluster specific approach, so we can cover in bulk. For example, we are covering potato farmers in Western UP. We are covering sugarcane farmers in Eastern, Western, and Central UP. So we are regularly conducting some kind of programs, and so in my private partnership to develop coverage of this program. And there is a robust monitoring and evaluation system. We can find each and every obligation, that where it is get installed, how much money farmers have paid, how much estimate has been created, how much area has been covered. So no one can play or make any foul on this program. Besides this micro irrigation, individual micro irrigation, we are also supporting the state government for irrigation as a service model that will cover whole village under the micro irrigation through a system. We are also developing command area development through micro irrigation. That is another aspect of coverage, micro irrigation coverage. Recently, we have installed a pivot irrigation system in Jalon district that may be now by Chief Minister. That is another aspect of micro irrigation system. So just informing to these development that there is a huge potential for each and every financial institution, they can pitch in the game and take advantage of the this huge market size, and it is expanding daily. So I would like to stop myself here, and if you have any question or need any clarification on this. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you so much, sir, for such insightful presentation on the process of UPMIP. We will take the question and answer questions in question and answer round. I will move to Ms. Shaisha Duggal. I'll invite her to give a presentation of role of MFIs in UPMIP model. So over to Shaisha.
Thank you, Pratishtha. I will just share my screen. Let me know once it's visible. I hope I'm visible.
It's visible.
Great. Thank you, Gigi sir, and everybody from Sa-Dhan for organizing this event. And thank you, everybody from GIZ and even Yogesh sir, because they've provided a very succinct idea of what the UPMIP would look like. Now I'm just going to look at what this would mean for MFIs. For MFIs, as you'll see here, the UPMIP, when we envisage it, has 4 critical targets or parameters. First is its potential bank financing opportunity. And from our numbers, and I think something that Yogesh sir has touched upon as well, we're looking for farmers who are currently waiting on financing to be somewhere around 150 crores. And this is not just limited to 1 year, but we see this over a span of 5 years. So by 2028, we will be looking to touch upon the lives of about 6 lakh farmers, about 750,000 hectares of land. And by that time, we'll be at a bank financing opportunity of 1,050 crores. And this all comes just from the 10 to 20% margin that's going to be covered by these MFIs and NBFCs. Like Yogesh already touched upon this previously, we already stand at about 2.8 lakh farmers as registrations and about 3.6 lakh hectares. So this just goes on to show the scalability and the amount of potential that this program has to transform agriculture in UP. When we look at why this could be relevant for FIs, now I have a tripartite agenda to why FIs could have some value. Of course, this is very specific financing products. It's specific to micro irrigation, and it can channelize lending to farmers in a manner that has not been previously done or is not previously ubiquitous as such. Another problem that perhaps FIs might be dealing with is to do with more robust decision making, because underwriting has always been I suppose an issue. And here, because we're partaking with the government, we have from the government that provides clear understandings of crop patterns, of land ownership details, and these just make decision making a lot more robust and a lot more objective, I'd say. And probably one very important facet to this is priority sector lending. I know that for FIs, their PSL portfolios can be very critical, and this is direct contribution to that. It's in tandem with some wonderful organizations, including the World Bank and including the UP government. So this is a good chance for FIs to pivot to these farmers and to provide to these farmers in a very enabling manner by covering this 10 to 20% margin. Now, I wanted to provide you guys with some estimate of what this costing would look like. Now, one great advantage of the UPMIP is that the costing is auto-calculated and it is fixed. Like Sir already talked about, there's a price cap, it's rationalized as price. So we've got 3 types of irrigation systems for which we've got costing. There's drip, there's micro, and there is mini irrigation system. Here, I have an example of for divergent lateral distances. If you see at the latter 2 columns, you will see what the minimum margin requirement would look like where farmers come in, but also where FIs come in. Now, this is an example for drip irrigation, but here you can see for mini sprinkler systems, we look at for 3 into 3 meters, we look at somewhere nearly 20,700 for medium farmers and 8,300 for small farmers. Similarly, in micro sprinklers, we look at about 14,000 for medium farmers who to cover 20% of the part that's not for subsidy, and small and marginal farmers who to cover 10% would stand somewhere around 5,900. Now, I think Sir has gone over this, but I'd just like to articulate where in the UPMIP process do MFIs come in. Now, when we start the financial inclusion process, the contact details of irrigation companies who are going to connect with farmers as well as FIs who've been mapped and allocated by block and district are available on the website. This makes access and transparency complete both on the FIs' side as well as on the farmers' side. This is followed by what's so called as the estimate, which is the bill of quantity, which is, I suppose, a trigger point because a farmer has initiated an application process, but now they're getting access to the project's total cost and also a technical sanction that will be required at this stage. Right? This is followed by the TPA. Now, here is where an FI or an MFI would come in because this has a time frame of about 30 days because now once the BOQ is approved, the pricing has been locked. This pricing is now centralized in control of the UPMIP and cannot be changed or manipulated. So irrigation companies providing divergent pricing goes out of the way. We'll confirm the farmer's share of payment and subsidy approval here, and then confirmation goes to the FIs. For here, the UPMIP would have a third-party agency who comes in for physical verification and confirms installation. This is done through photographic evidence and through geo coordinates or verification documents. And then the subsidy is dispersed to the account of the vendor. Now, in a nutshell, when I say where do FIs come into this process, there are 4 critical areas where FIs drive, and these happen between the BOQ to the tripartite agreement stage. Firstly, with all the FIs that are here, they'll understand that single point dependency can be a critical issue. So FIs are going to be mapped and assigned by region, and the data is constantly available on the UPMIP website. Then local irrigation companies who have approval, who have sanction, share these details with locally mapped FIs to finance the farmers' contribution. Also to authenticate the BOQ process and to ensure that there's transparency on both ends, get access to the UPMIP portal briefly to verify the bill of quantity or the estimate that has been provided to farmers. And lastly, they approve the loan based on their criteria, and this loan is paid directly into the centralized account, and confirmation of this transaction is provided by the irrigation company to the UPMIP and FI coordinated point. I think these become a very holistic understanding of where FIs can come, intervene and drive impact, while also ensuring that there's a certain standard of transparency and communication that is maintained for all parties involved in this process. I provide some example cases to you for what engagement for an FI would look like. Assume that I'm a farmer. Let's say I have about 0.4 hectares of land. So I'm a really small or marginal farmer and I want a drip irrigation system, right? Now, if a costing, let's say for the drip irrigation system is somewhere around 20,000 rupees, my involvement from approval to disbursement would be to look at something around 2,071 rupees. Whereas if I go to something which is slightly larger, let's say a farmer with 1 hectare of land who wants a mini sprinkler system, and the costing for that is about nearly slightly over 1 lakh rupees. There too, my 10% financing is for about 10,000 rupees, where I continue to get support for expansion. We here have known that young farmers are waiting for financing, but like Sir talked about, there's really 2 lakh farmers who are on the wait for financing. And this could mean not just the 150 crores bank financing opportunity I've mentioned here, but probably immediate financing opportunity of about 300 crores that we're looking at. Now, when I look, and I know I spoke of this previously, for FIs, bank financing opportunity over the period of 5 years looks incredible and particularly striking because it's not just growth in terms of the financial opportunity, but in terms of the number of farmers that we may be looking at. For 2024, the number stands at about 150 crores. That moves on to 375 crores, 600, 825, and then closing at 1,050 crores in 2028 with 7 lakh farmers and nearly 750,000 hectares of land that's been touched upon purely from the UPMIP process. So you can see the scale at which program might be working and bringing impact. But when I talk about impact, impact is not just not limited to this economic impact. When you talk about what scalability could mean within UP, we've got examples of other scalability options. I'm sure you guys know about the Kisan credit cards that are being offered. And in 2022, UP recorded that only half of its state's agricultural population had Kisan credit cards in their name, right? And so that leaves a large, that is already a pre existing market, which is really incredible in size, but also a huge market that might be looking to get a KCC as farmers' financial needs expand. So, here for FIs, that could mean promoting KCCs with increased limits and also to cater to newer financial needs of farmers. Besides this, again, I think offerings can also include four elements that I've listed here. One is your PSL portfolio. Secondly, FIs and NBFCs who engage in this program and partner with the UPMIP get to co-brand their logos in all communications of UPMIP that are listed here, and that might be relevant. We have physical and digital joint marketing initiatives, so it allows you to have a touch point to directly engage with the farmer and extend your offerings to them beyond what you might already be engaging in, right? And also for farmer engagement events and workshops that the UPMIP or its partners might have, FIs get to have an exclusive visibility option. So I think that in a nutshell, all of this is a very holistic opportunity to extend help to farmers and to finance farmers, where your numbers can be as high as about 1,050 crores in 2028. I think now, Pratishta, if it works for you, all the ecosystem partners can have a chat and answer any questions that everybody might have.
Thank you so much, Shaisha, for this informative presentation. It is really helpful for us to understand the UP MIP model better. So now, everyone, we are open for question and answer round. I request one by one to park your question either in chat box or either unmute yourself and you may ask your questions.
Hi, Pratishta. There is a question from Ananya, which I've answered in writing, but I think I can address even a little bit verbally. I mean, what we have seen till now is that there's not much of credit risk. The economics of the products that we have been with till now, and that includes quite a few products beyond drip irrigation, yeah, which includes a 0.3 HP pump, a biodigester, a very high access sprayer. There are quite a few products which FIs have started giving loans for, and since the economics is extremely well proven on the ground, we have generally not been asked about a credit guarantee or a first loss default guarantee, which seems to be generally very common. However, I mean, if there is a very strong case of social benefit or maybe some other strong case, we can look for it. And if it is extreme event, extreme climate event, there are parametric insurance products coming on board with whom we are not done. But there are products which are coming on board for extreme weather events. Those are parametric insurance where a certain event happening would mean the insured taking a certain amount. How do we roll it out on a large scale is something where decisions still haven't been made. Thanks. I'm open if you want to ask anything else.
And I hope the question we addressed your question. Is there any? There's one more question from Ronak. Uh, to could you provide an overview of how the credit flow operates in the context? Specifically, I would like to understand the disbursement process, including the account to which funds are transferred and the mechanism employed for collections. So I think Yogesh either Yogesh sir or Saisha, anyone can answer this question.
Baltista, can we clear the screen? I mean, can we remove the slide? It will help us in discussion. Yeah, thanks.
Yogesh sir? Saisha?
Yes,
Saisha
just a
or-
minute. Just a minute.
Yeah.
So the disbursement process is very transparent and robust. Earlier, the government was disbursing subsidy into the farmer's account, and it was very problematic because many times a farmer suppose have some pending loan on their account. Government has subsidy in his account, so that is deducted for some other particular loan amount. And when the company was asking money, he was not able to give it to company. So keeping this in mind, we have created an escrow account, and all the money, either it is farmer share or it is government share of the subsidy, that comes in a common account, and a particular ID for each transaction is active. So when the government is suppose disbursing subsidy for a farmer, so that goes into that particular escrow account, and that is disbursed only to micro irrigation company. So that is very transparent and robust. So we ensure that subsidy is utilized only for that purpose for which is meant.
Thank you, Yogesh sir. We have one more question from Mr. Paneer Selvam from BWDA. Sir, you may unmute yourself and ask your question.
So I'm reading another question, that what will happen if the subsidy support is ended. So as of now, the program is not, government is not going to take back the subsidy under this program, and at least it is under implementation till 2029 or so. Even government is working on bringing some more, expanding this scope of this program. So we can't foresee any subsidy component taking back from the government side.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I think
I also seen a question about the scalability of this program in other state.
yeah,
So
there are many.
yes. So regarding scalability, it depends on the state government that they want to implement this model or not. So recently from Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh government, we have received requests to replicate this program in their states. So I can say that scope of this program and prospects are gradually increasing with the other state. And 2030 WRG is currently presented in working with the 6 state governments, and will try to implement in other state as well.
Yes, Ms. Paneer Selvam, you want to say something?
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
See, sir, we are representing on behalf of Bauda Microfinance from Tamil Nadu, working in Viluppuram district, covering many farmers-related families, especially the people engaged in dry cultivation as well as wet land cultivation, including this cashew crops, which is one of the very premier crop exported from Banruti. So here the irrigation has become a very big problem in the sense when they have a sufficient water, they don't have any proper reservoir, and when there is a water scarcity, there is no any kind of proper updated technology available. So to meet out the shortage, they shell out of money But when they work out the balance sheet, finally they incur heavy loss, even though they have produced sufficient quantity. So there should be a monitoring system, need-based irrigation system, especially the dry and wet, as well as the cashew crops, which is an area known as a Pandruti, where there are a bulk number of people cultivating cashew and jackfruit, the various updated technical products. But for which I think there is a very monitoring system and the need-based financial support is extended at a concessional price, leaving some moratorium period would be of much useful, because we have been facing a lot of problem after lending money. The people face a lot of difficulties in repaying money, and because of the lack of irrigation, there should be some product given as a diversified product to meet their needs. So that will really improve the standard of life of the people. Again, the crop will also be well secured and saved. This feeling I want to share before you.
Yes, I just would like to respond you. We have very robust monitoring system for this program, and we are monitoring each and every activity, not only process, even post installation. We are evaluating the performance of farmers randomly. And second, when we are talking about there is water scarcity, yes, there is water scarcity in UP as well. But interestingly, the Bundelkhand area, which is the most water scarce region of the Uttar Pradesh, that has the highest demand of this micro irrigation system. So it is supporting this idea that the regions which have less water, they are adopting more and more, and that has higher demand. So there is higher prospect in the water scarce region.
Thank you, sir.
Just to ask, sir, there are a few more questions in the chat box. There's a question is what is the sustainability prospect of the program once the subsidy supports end? Has there been any use cases for other states? So
No,
sustainability.
that I already have responded. The government is not going to take back the subsidy aspect of this program. This is centrally sponsored. This is centrally sponsored, and recently NABARD already have a micro irrigation development fund that was 5,000 crore rupees pocket of money, and that is exhausted with the 8 states. And recently they have agreed to create another pool of 10,000 crore rupees for micro irrigation development. So the scope of MI is expanding.
So there's one question, last question that I will address. Do FI needs to process these amount as microloans? If yes, then does this product have interest, PF insurance, and other charges we usually collect? Also, I want to understand about about should we do credit bureau before processing farmers' part and follow the current guidelines?
I think that is it will be good if any microfinance expert can.
I could answer that, Yogesh, if that's okay. So just for everyone's understanding, the whole idea is for you to look at this as your a loan product that you could offer to either your existing customer base, or use this setup to get into a new market or build a new customer base, right? It is a micro loan, yes. From all practical purposes, you have to define your own interest, PF, or insurance requirements that you would do with any other lending offering to the customer. The underwriting process has to be guided by each MFI's own processes of how they'll intend to look at that. Over here, UPMIP is not defining those parameters for anyone. It is just a gateway for accessing a base of farmers which might not be catered by the MFIs, or or might have been catered by MFIs, but can be enlarged with a new product line or financing line for that matter.
Thanks, Jaspreet. Thank you so much. Now,
Yogesh, I have one query. Sunita this side. As you mentioned, the maintenance is also covered in this program in terms of the insurance. So it's limited to any particular particular product or any particular parts of that? If yes, then what could be? Or it's applicable only for the 1 year, or after 1 year the customer can also go for the insurance? If you just clarify this thing also.
Insurance is covered for 1 year, and maintenance is for 3 years. And that is not limited to any particular component of the machinery, but that is the working of system. If system is not working for any of reason, suppose there is blockage in pipe, there is some disturbance in supply, there is some problem in filtration or fertigation, so the company is liable to resolve the issue.
But if any default in any of that the part, then
Sorry?
if any default arise with any of the component, in that situation the customer need to pay to remove or replace that part, or MI company would be able to do that?
Usually, if it is due to fault of farmers or mishandling or such kind of thing, farmers have to pay. If it is not functioning due to some technical reason, company is liable to resolve.
But is
Any
there any
part of the
timeline within?
yes. We didn't fix timeline for this operation and maintenance, but for last 1.5 year, not a single case arise for such.
Okay, thanks, Yogesh.
Hi, Pratisha. This is Ashish from Annapurna Finance. I had just one question, although the overall approach looks fantastic for the financial institution. I have just one question in terms of how the FI allocation will be there. So currently, if we see the microfinance segment also, so a single customer is being catered by two microfinance. Even the regulator has come heavily to reduce the number of microfinance exposure. So wherever there's a microfinance borrower, they are already being treated by 2 or 3 microfinancial institutions. So how that FI categorization will be there, considering multiple MFIs presence on a similar geography?
Jaspreet sir or Yogesh sir, you would like to answer this question?
So,
Chandan sir, yes.
Ashish, yeah, just to respond you here, like I just also mentioned earlier, you have to go through the entire underwriting process. This is a like the demand is quite high in the state of Uttar Pradesh, and as per the process, as per the due diligence process, if you find the client is good enough, then you may continue with, or you may proceed with that as per the process of your
Chandan,
online.
my question is little different from what you answered. So, say there is a customer and there are multiple MFI. So even we do the underwriting and we see that the customer is right, and parallelly other MFI also approach the same customer. So how because the loan is one.
Mm-hmm.
So if multiple MFI simultaneously lend to the customer, so how the differentiation will be there? How to identify which FI should lend? Is there any demarcation? So once you open this window, multiple MFI will approach and you open the database. So suppose I see my presence, there is R1 is present or Fusion is present. So 3 of the MFI can access the data. All 3
True,
approach,
true.
all 3 underwrite.
Agree.
So
So,
how
Jasprit,
will we treat
Yogesh,
this situation?
no, I agree with you, Ashish. I agree. Jasprit, Yogesh, your take on this? This is an important point.
I think it's technical point for, in terms of for microfinance institutions. What I understand that what will happen if the number of MFIs are approaching same customer, is it?
Exactly.
So usually we, as of now, we are piloted this in 3 or 4 or 5 district or so. I think 5 district or so. So only few MFIs are there who shows their willingness to work in these issues, and we provide detail of the farmers with their location and phone number that you can approach with the subsequent micro irrigation companies to MFIs. So in that case, when the number of MFI are willing to work on the same district, we can distribute, or we can create a platform that where farmers can express their willingness for the finance, and MFIs can approach through the that platform. So that can be created. But as of now, there is no such crisis that the same farmers are being approached by a number of MFIs.
Yeah, thanks, Yogesh.
Jaspreet,
Yeah.
yes, Ashish.
Because in current MFI lending, so there is a clear-cut demarcation from the regulator. So in terms of you can lend the same borrower by multiple MFI, but when it comes to a single asset financing, there can't be double finance. So we need to design some
Obviously.
mechanism wherein if somebody has applied, so other MF will not get that if the loan is in process or something. We need to chalk out a plan. I think once we are planning of
Yes,
such a
sure.
large scale, I
Yes.
think this is something we need to design from your side. Some mechanism has to be designed.
Yes, this is very valid point, and that need to clear before proceeding on the issue. I think we can prepare a platform there where a lender and borrower each can contact each other, so that can be.
Oh,
Sandeep, you want to say something?
yeah, just one point here. So if there is a regulatory diktat about, two lenders cannot give a loan for the same product, is there no mechanism to stop this in entire system? Because as I know, the MFI ecosystem is not it's not a cowboy market where anybody can do anything. There are plenty of restrictions about how much a borrower can borrow, and there's data.
That is there, but that is a capping on the lending side, not on the product side. No? So there is a assessment of household income, and then you have 50% of the household income maximum you can lend. You can be the third MFI, you can't be the fourth MFI. So when you pull out a bureau, you can see all those information. But when it comes to a single asset financing, suppose you are going to buy a car. So if that car is being financed by two financiers, then how will it work? So when it comes to asset financing, it has to be one-to-one mapping. Or if a lender rejects it, then only the customer can go to the second lender. Some kind of checks has to be in place.
But this is a generic problem which should be solved classes. So isn't there any mechanism in place to prevent this as of now?
I would request, sorry to interrupt, we are running out of time. Ashish, this is very important issue that you place it here, and we may discuss it after this webinar with the WRG team and all the concerned associations. We would surely address this issue, but I would request you to carry forward with this as we are running out of time. So I hope we have addressed major queries, and if somebody has any other queries, they may write to us, and we may revert in stipulated time. Now coming back to Mr. Yogesh sir, to connect the point of contacts for this UPMIP model. So sir, over to you again.
So as of now, there are no a large number of MFIs who has come to pitch in the system. So what we are planning to do is appoint a particular person in the technical support unit, and the person will be responsible for providing information for each and every district and each and every farmer. So suppose any want to come in for any particular district, so that person will facilitate to MFIs. So we are creating a system in the TSU.
Yes, sir, that would be really helpful because many of the MFIs face such issues of connecting to MI companies. So
Sure.
thank you so much, sir. Now I invite Mr. Jaspreet Singh of Access Assist to the closing remarks. Over to you, Jaspreet sir.
No, thank you so much, everyone, for your time. I think we look forward to working with all of you, especially with Yogesh and his team to, drive this important agenda. Thank you, Sandeep and Gigi sir, to, bring everyone together on this forum. So look forward to driving this further. It's a big gap. So, everyone who pitches in will have a great reason to be part of this. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. Now I invite Mr. Chandan Thakur from Sa-Dhan to give a vote of thanks. Over to you,
Right.
Chandan sir.
Thanks, Pratishtha, and again, thank you so much. It has been really great, wonderful discussion, and I must thank GIZ, Yogesh, 2330 WRG, and of course, Jasprit and team from Access Assist. It has been really good. I mean, this is an area we all have been working for last 2, 3 years. GIZ, Sustain Plus, Cine, this also all those organizations. So that has been a good deal of work that we have done over a period of last 2, 3 years. And I'm sure, like, given the huge opportunity in the state of Uttar Pradesh, well backed by the government of Uttar Pradesh, the completely transparent process, and we have a really helping hand in terms of Yogesh, Jasprit, and team. So I'm sure the MFI institution, they can optimize and take this opportunity for the various purpose of product, diversifying the product, and climate resilient agriculture for various purpose. But there are some issues as well, as Ashish has mentioned. I am sure Yogesh and team will take it seriously, and maybe we may have some solutions soon on this part. So we are just looking forward to work together in this, and we will be in regular touch to support all the FIs, all our members to make it a success. So thank you once again. Thank you so much for your support and participation.